Okay, guys, welcome back to another edition of Livewire. I am your host, Jared Moore, and Livewire is the program where we take your questions from the chat. On today's program, we're going to be talking with College of the Muscogee Nation's Extension Program. I think it's Project Manager, correct, Chris? Project
Yeah,
Manager?
yeah, extension coordinator, technically.
Extension Coordinator, sorry. Extension Coordinator Christopher Asbell, Extension Educator Courtney Natseway, and I'll be there. And we're going to be talking about Season 2 of Mvskoke Gardening. And thanks for joining me tonight, you guys.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, thanks for having us. We're excited to be here and kind of, share some of the information on our Season 2 of our Mvskoke Gardening series. So, we don't have all the ideas, and we want to make sure that people feel like they're connected with our extension program and our Mvskoke Gardening program. So that's what we come on, and we want to know what people are doing in their home gardens and whatnot.
And I want to remind you guys too that are watching out there, if you have a question, pop it in the chat and we'll try to get it asked. Before we start talking about Season 2, though, let's talk about the response that you guys got to Season 1. What was that response like, Chris?
Yeah, so we had an excellent response, not only from our citizens but also from the general community at large. A lot of positive feedback. Courtney, she's a natural on the camera, and we basically have a star in the making. Her Season 1 was, to me, flawless, and she has just a natural gift to talk on the camera. She is very educated in what she's doing, so it's a natural thing. And we even I was at a meeting a few months back, and actually the OSU Master Gardeners are actually utilizing our videos for continuing education. So they're using our videos to meet some of their continuing education requirements. And so that's a big, I think that's a big feather in our hat in terms of, the quality of the videos and how they resonate with people. I'll let Courtney kind of talk about, some of the feedback that she's gotten.
Yeah, I will say it's pretty crazy. Every now and then we'll kind of be, out in the wild at an event like the farmer's market or a conference, and, we'll run into people who have seen the show. And usually people remember something very specific, like they'll remember an insect that we talked about or some kind of plant or some kind of bean that we mentioned. So it's just really interesting to see like what resonates with people or what sticks with them. But yeah, I've noticed, in Extension, we meet new people all the time, almost every day, so a lot of the people that we meet have already seen our show or have already seen an episode or two. So it's kind of cool that people kind of recognize that and are actually interested in it,
Yeah, and also, just real quick, Jared, I mean, the uniqueness of the show, I think, we've done a lot of different shows over the years, and I've never seen an actually gardening program come out of the nation specifically. We have 100,000 citizens, and our ability to put it out on YouTube and utilize our Mvskoke Media, we're reaching all those people without them actually having to come on campus. We have over 50,000 people that live within the territorial boundaries of the Muscogee Nation. So we're reaching those folks that can actually, a lot of them will come out and visit. But we're also reaching people in California and Oregon. Actually had an inmate from Alabama send me a letter and say that he watches the Mvskoke Gardening series and that he was really impressed with it. So it's awesome. Amazing how you're connecting with people and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we had a comment in the chat I wanted to read. T.Y. Pearl says, "The farmer's market is dope. Love that you have music at the event. Keep up the gourd work."
Awesome. Yeah.
So let's transition to Season 2. We have met about it a couple of times, and there is an episode that's going to premiere on Saturday at 11 a.m. So it'll be the first episode of Season 2. And I think we agreed that we're going to continue to do the episodes over the growing season as we get them done, instead of doing them all and trying to release them all on a set schedule. Mm-hmm. We're going to release them as we get them done. And that's also kind of, we wanted to move beyond just being in the college's garden this season. And what's the idea behind that, Chris?
Yeah, I think, we've shown a lot of people a lot of growing techniques last year in Season 1. And some of the feedback we did have is like, what's going on in amongst our citizens. And one of our goals in our strategic plan is to enhance this traditional ecological knowledge and get people to re-engage in ag and re-engage in horticulture. And I think it's just a natural thing for us to go out and see what our citizens are doing and kind of motivate people to do that. We have a lot of our folks at the farmers market are doing a lot of those things. We have obviously the episode this Saturday. A number of people like Vernon Courtwright, it's kind of his family brought over the peaches from Georgia. He's kept those alive all these years. And so I want to highlight those things. And we don't know what we don't know. So, I mean, that's why we're doing this program tonight is, what is going on out there in the community, and give us some ideas as we move forward, because we'd like to keep this going for, as long as we see value in it and the citizens see value in it.
Yeah. And to let you guys in the audience know, we are going to try to focus on citizen gardens for this season. And if you have a garden that you'd like to have featured, there's an email for the extension program in the description of this video below. Just click it, send them an email, and we'll get the scheduling and all that stuff set up, because we do want to get out in the community. We have some ideas for episodes that we're holding back that we're working on doing, but we want to feature more citizens. So if you're interested in that, shoot them an email. Let's see here. I'm just looking to see, are you doing any special coverage related to international are you guys going to do any special coverage related to International Compost Awareness Week coming up soon? Do you guys have any plans for that? International Compost Awareness Week.
To tell you the truth, I didn't even know it was International Compost Week.
Like every week is Compost Week,
Every week is Compost Week. So,
but I will say that, we did partner with Geospatial and GIS department on a grant around soils, and part of that grant is to kind of focus on composting. So we see the value in it, and I think Courtney and Ben Yahola have worked on some ideas around vermiculture, and we visited a lot of different farms and gardens around the state. Our friend over in Oklahoma City, Travis Andrews, he does a lot of composting. So, and I think Courtney, isn't some of the soil that you just recently purchased, isn't partially composting in that soil?
Yeah, it's 50% compost. And they actually, some of the housing organizations on campus have just implemented composting at the dorms at CMN. So there's definitely some efforts on campus towards composting.
Yeah, we should also mention too that the gardening show is kind of like in support of the community outreach for the extension. And there are times that you guys are looking for volunteers to come to the garden, or the garden's going to be open to the public. Are those the same as last year, like the Thursday, I think it was from 11 to noon, or what's new or different about those times?
So this growing season, it's different. We're doing it on Fridays instead, Fridays from noon to 4. Every single Friday from April to September. So for a little while, if anyone wants to come out. And this year we're calling it kind of like volunteer days. We have an endless amount of work that needs to be done in the garden. So if anyone wants to come out and help us out, get their hands dirty a little bit, we're welcoming volunteers every Friday.
Yeah, because, a garden is really about community. And it's, we have a few workers, but it really takes a lot of labor hours to make that garden successful. So, and when people come out and they see the value in it, and they can help out, and they feel like they're part of the bigger picture in terms of us utilizing that garden for education. We also utilize it to actually give out produce. We give it out to a lot of our seniors. Last at the farmers market, they were selling some of the produce at a very nominal cost. I mean, and that goes back into our environmental science club. And then we also just had our Mvskoke Gardener program graduates. So we want to get that next group of Mvskoke gardeners for our class, which will be next spring. And so we kind of, we just want to re-engage in people and make sure that they see the college and our extension program is, we invite you to come out with open arms. Our extension program is your extension program. What your needs are is what our job is in terms of fulfilling those needs.
Yeah, and you guys have really been doing a great job with outreach, not just here on YouTube, but also, with Chewing the Cud in the newspaper has been really great. Citizens love it, and we've had some suggestions here pop up in the chat. I wanted to read through them real quick.
Okay.
TY Pro's asking, will you be featuring Burning Cedar Sovereign Wellness on any episodes? Have you guys heard of that, Burning Cedar Sovereign Wellness?
Yeah, I actually live very close to them. That's a great idea. I really do love that idea. They actually came out and visited our garden a couple of weeks ago, and they mentioned a community garden that they're building in Tulsa, like on Muscogee land, literally right in the middle of the city. So I think that would be, a great episode.
We're gonna add it to the list there, TY Pro. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Here's another one. TY Pro's asking, are y'all getting involved with any river cane restoration initiatives?
Actually, that's a great question because we have some opportunities, but a lot of it is back in the southeast where we've had some communication on some big projects in the southeast. That is something that I think maybe in the future that we would probably get involved with. Particularly already going on in the southeast right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
awesome.
Yeah.
Here's another one. TY Pro is asking, any chance the Extension Office will be involved in the City of Tulsa Mayor's Sustainability Task Force and the landscaping and maintenance at Council Oak Park and Dreamkeepers Park? And for you guys that maybe are listening, don't know what we're talking about, that at the Council Oak Park, there is some indigenous plants and stuff around there. And in the recent years, those have, they haven't been tended like they needed to be tended. So a lot of them are dead, and the signage and stuff is also not up to snuff. So have you guys received any communications from anybody at the city on that? Or maybe the Riverview Neighborhood Association is also working on that. Have you guys got any, like Chris McCabe or any of those guys?
I don't know. Well, I've had one communication from somebody as inquiring something similar about whether or not we're going to take an active role in the Council Oak, the horticulture up there and the landscaping and being kind of on that task force in terms of choosing what goes back in there. We have not received any communication from it, but I know that Raylan Butler with the Muscogee Nation Cultural Preservation, and I think she's secretary of I can't remember her actual title, but she's basically over a lot of cultural preservation and language. That she's been very active with that project, so we'll maybe reach out to her and see what kind of role we would play. As we become more interconnected with a lot of different things, it stresses your bandwidth a little bit once you get involved with too many things. And it's not that is a very, very important project. So if we can't, then maybe we can advise on the side to somebody that's actually on the committee. But we do work with John Carre and Richard Bewley. And Richard Bewley, has been involved with the Council Oak Tree for many years. So I can reach out to him and kind of see what kind of role we could play. I mean, I think it would be right up our alley. To support
TY Pearl is also making the suggestion to contact the Greater Tulsa Area Indian Affairs Commission.
Okay.
But, and also you guys recently did an event with oak saplings that were from the Council Oak. Is that right? Can you talk a little bit about that event? I know we've got some coverage that's going to be in the paper and on the web about it.
Yeah, so the Environmental Science Club, a student organization on campus, hosted an Earth Day celebration on Earth Day, April 22nd. And so part of our celebration and the activities was planting a Council Oak sapling on campus at CMN. So we attended some construction meetings and, found a safe spot to plant it, and a forever spot to put it in. So we kind of made a ceremony and made a little event about it on Earth Day. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we also transferred one sapling to reintegration program earlier this week.
Yeah,
We're gonna be
yesterday.
planting one down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. And then we may have. Do we have a few left, Courtney?
We have one more that's ready to go, ready to plant in ground now, and we have about maybe 10 to 20 in our greenhouse currently. So
Yeah. So
One of
somebody has a spot for one, be a special spot that we would have one council oak tree left from this year, and those were grown out by a prison in northern part of Oklahoma, John Carray and Richard Bewley reached out to me through another project, and actually they grew those out, and then they transferred those saplings to us, and then we nurtured them through the wintertime, and then Courtney hardened them off and got them ready to be planted. So we have one left that really needs to go to a good spot. If anybody out there that's knows a good location.
Awesome. Yeah. And guys, I want to remind you that there's an email that you can contact the extension. The link is in the description of this video. So, and TY Pro or anybody watching, if there's a suggestion or something that I didn't get to that you think is important, go ahead and shoot an email to that email in the description, because that's going to help us out too, to remember, because we've got to go back and chase down those things to get an episode filmed on it. So, and there is an episode that's going to premiere this weekend. If you're just tuning in, it is going to happen at 11 a.m. on this Saturday, which is, I believe, the 3rd. So May 3rd. And it's the first episode, and it's about Yaupon tea or Yaupon holly.
Yaupon.
Make tea, Yaupon. And so if you guys are interested in that, check it out. It's a really cool episode because we go all over the place and we show you the whole process. And I look forward to everybody getting to see the first episode. It really came together on the editing side, and we also got the cultural side, and everything really worked out. What was you guys' experience with? I know we've did the whole previous season 1, but season 2 is a little bit different of an animal. What was it like for you guys?
Go ahead, Courtney.
What was it like filming the first episode?
Yeah.
Oh, it was fun. It was so much fun. I like that, before in season 1, I kind of would have to come up with like a topic and like a whole plan and, where we were going to film it and what we were going to talk about. So it's really fun this time to just kind of ask somebody else all the questions and have them kind of do all the filler information. So it's real. The new approach is really fun. It's different and it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think so. In this whole process, it's an educational journey for us as well. Yeah. When I first started working for Seaman Extension, we didn't even have a desk, and we bought a desk. We hired Courtney, thank goodness, and we got a truck, and then we just started working and evolving. And then I got word through the grapevine that Ben Yehola was around, and he was wanting to come back to work and do some stuff, and so that really allowed us to tap into a lot of his traditional knowledge, and he's spent his lifetime doing these types of things, and he's really the one that brought Yaupon holly to the forefront and educated me about it. And the scientific name is Ilex vomitoria. It's the original caffeinated drink of North America, and very important to a lot of tribes in the United States, particularly in the Southeast. And so bring that back and start re-educating people about something that's kind of gotten lost over time, I think is exactly what we want to do in terms of promoting traditional ecological knowledge. In some of it's been lost upon ourselves as well.
Absolutely. We've had some stuff pop up in the chat. I'm just going to run through it really quick. TY Pearl's asking, any interest in trying to bring YouTube gardening channel celebrities to tour our programs and collab on producing media? We could try to do that. I think it would be difficult for them because our channel doesn't have that many subscribers. Well, what are they going to get out of it? Does the Summer Youth Employment Program assist in any of your efforts? Do you guys have anything to do with the Summer Youth Employment?
Yeah, so we'd actually going to have a summer youth program. Some workers this summer. We actually just processed their paperwork today. In terms of this previous question was about YouTube stars. Don't know YouTube stars, but we did have Oklahoma Gardening and Casey Hinges came out and did 2 episodes. And so we do try to promote it at a higher level. Eventually, I think that it wouldn't be opposed to doing that. Really want to bring us a lot of substance to the table before you promote it too much. You want to have a really good library of substance. Then you can start promoting that at a higher level.
Yeah. TY Pearl is asking, any chance you could start a tribal Up with Trees program with culturally significant species like sassafras, cedar, yopon, etc.?
It's a great idea. I love that idea.
Yeah, we actually have a USGS grant right now through Benny Hull's actually working on it now. We transferred them over to that, and that is actually identifying endangered species. And one of the species that we're going to try to reintroduce, and there's been a big push for it, is reintroducing like the American chestnut. And so, through that program, it may not be specifically Up with Trees, but it'll be kind of our own version of that, so that we're trying to, plant these culturally significant trees here within the Muscogee Nation. So we kind of have a version of that. It's just not fully developed, but we're right on the cusp. We just started the grant like a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. Well, I want to remind you guys, because we are at 21 minutes and we're getting close to the wrap. So I want to remind you guys in the audience, if you have a suggestion for an episode of season 2 of Mvskoke Gardening, there's a link to the extension's email in the description of this video. Send them an email with your suggestion. Or if you want to be featured on there, if you have a garden, send it to us. There's also links to the playlist for season 1 of Mvskoke Gardening. And there's a link to the premiere of season 2 that's going to happen on Saturday. If you want to go ahead and bookmark it or whatever, you can do that. And the premiere that's on Saturday is set for a YouTube premiere. So if you want to go in and leave a comment in the chat, like you're not going to make the premiere, or you're not going to see it when it premieres, you can go ahead and leave suggestions and stuff like that in the chat if you guys want to. And I'm just going to see if there's any other questions here.
Well, one thing I was going to just point out, we're okay with, if you're engaging in a lot of these things that, from an agribusiness standpoint. So say maybe you have a big garden and you have goats and you have chickens and you have all these different things, and you want us to come out and we kind of highlight that. We highlight some of the things that you're doing. We're totally fine of people utilizing it to promote their own personal agribusinesses. And so
Absolutely.
That's developing that in the Muscogee economy and driving that forward. At the end of the day, we engage in a lot of these things because it's for food and for sustenance, and it also promotes community. So we're totally fine if somebody reaches out and said, "Hey, I have a business doing this, and we'd like for you to come out." We'll try to figure out a unique angle on it, but we can accommodate those folks too.
Awesome. Terrell Fish has a comment here. The Master Naturalist program is extremely strong here in Texas, but it does not exist that I know of in Oklahoma. Is this something that the tribe would be interested in helping start? And I guess before we answer, I would, Terrell, I would differentiate that that the extension program is part of the College of the Muscogee Nation, which is kind of like a separate thing from the government. It receives funding from the government, but it is a separate thing from the tribal government. But Chris, is there any that you know of for a Master Naturalist program in Oklahoma?
First and foremost, I've never heard of that. Totally makes sense. We were actually talking after our Mvskoke Gardener class about having some plant ID type classes. And I think our Muscogee Nation Conservation Commission does some plant ID classes, but I think that would fall within the realm of a master naturalist. We did our our Mvskoke Gardener program. It's kind of like the equivalent of a master gardener program, and we could probably work some stuff into that. I'd have to look at the curriculum on a master naturalist program. So if the viewer or listener would like to email me, casbell@cmn.edu, or can email Courtney. I think her email is cnatseway@cmn.edu. Take a look at that curriculum and just kind of see where it would fit, and maybe we could do a tweak on our Mvskoke Gardening program next year to add in more like plant ID type stuff. So we really have the mantra for continuous improvement. We'll do something. We don't like to overanalyze stuff and spend years analyzing. Just kind of want to throw it out there and see how it works, and then tweak it as you go. I think that's the best approach versus just overanalyzing stuff. So that's a good thing. We actually just learned about a junior master gardener program that Texas A&M puts on. I think Courtney has the curriculum on her desk, so we had some people reach out to us about that. So it's always there's always new things out there. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're providing as much value as we can with the bandwidth that we have as just a two member extension program. Plus we have Ben Yehola as our contractor, but yeah, those are good ideas, and I love good ideas, and we usually embrace really good ideas and try to make it happen.
Awesome. And I want to remind you guys that email that Chris mentioned is in the description of this video if you want to shoot him an email. Well, we are at 26 minutes. We have some suggestions going in there, but there's so many of them, I'm probably just going to wait until after we're off of the air and just copy them and send them out. So rather than go through them all here, is there anything about season 2 that we haven't talked about that you guys think is important that we mention?
I would just say, we had Oklahoma Gardening come out to our garden at CMN, and Oklahoma Gardening was kind of our inspiration for the Mvskoke Gardening show. We kind of wanted to do something similar, but make it Muscogee. So that kind of explains our second season and our call to citizens to see their gardens or come visit their gardens. Those are my favorite episodes of Oklahoma Gardening, when they go to somebody's backyard and show the amazing little oasis that they've created. So those are my favorite episodes, and I would love for our show to have episodes just like that, displaying Muscogee citizen gardens.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, Courtney, because that's one of the things that I want to see is the res it up, make it even more Muscogee. Like if we can Indianify it even more would be great. So exactly. Part of our motivation, trying to get citizens go do citizen gardens to show what the citizens gardening is like, and all of the little tricks that they have that maybe is idiosyncratic to just how they do it.
Yeah.
And I want to say, the secret to success is really Jared and Courtney, and Jared with his ability to video and get all the right things in the video and put that together, his own uniqueness. He's an artist. They grow stuff, and so he embraced the opportunity. Courtney's a natural. She is super educated and does this not only in her personal time. She said last weekend she spent gardening at her house. So she gardens for work and gardens at home. I'm just a little administrator sitting at a desk the majority of the time. So you guys are really the ones that made it successful, and you're the ones that people want to see on camera. And we're very, very fortunate to have a really, really good team of people producing the show. And we think that we can go on for a while with this program, because the diversity out there is so immense, and we haven't even tapped into 1% of what people are doing out there. So yeah, I think people tune in this season, they're going to be really excited about the things that we put out.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for all the compliments. And also I'd like to mention too, I agree with you totally that when we first started talking about doing a gardening show, part of the discussion was, will we have enough stuff to do a show? And I was like, yeah, I think so. This is such a huge thing for all Native American citizens of all different tribes, 5 civilized tribes, but especially Muscogee Creek Nation too, is gardening. They love gardening and doing things. There's still a deep connection to the land amongst citizens and stuff, even after removal and everything else. And then kind of the Yopon episode is all about trying to bring back something that maybe got lost after removal and stuff. So it's I'm really excited to see where it goes. And the audience should know, we're not, just like you were saying, we're not really like big planner types. We just go and do it, and we'll see where it goes from there, rather than try to overanalyze things. So
Exactly.
but we do need you guys to send us your submissions, and we would love to have tribal citizens, Muscogee citizens featured on the show. So send an email to that email that's in the description, and we'll get all those things set up. We are at 30 minutes. So I wanted to thank you guys for being on the program tonight. And I wanted to thank you guys that are watching for watching. And we will see you guys on Saturday at the premiere. So Mado, Hadum, Chihichat, Leaf.
No.
Boom.